Kevin O'Leary is with me this morning. Why does the media seem to be OK with letting Harris ignore them? Is it because they hate Trump so much?
I think this is the week where that changes, Stuart. The pressure for her to actually start discussing her policy and the flip-flops that are going on by her aides. I mean, there's so many questions about some of her proposals that I think at some point prior to September 10th, she's got to address them. And you have to understand, and I do, that she's been on such a sugar high, it's been called that multiple times, and this $500+ million raised, those are good metrics for anybody coming out of convention. But the convention is over now. And now it goes to the time when you start to think about this election being chosen by 100,000 votes. That's the difference. We're talking about 7, 8 states. We're going to have answers for those people, and now it's time for her to answer. I've been told that this week she will do a sit-down interview with the press. Finally, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see if she does it. And who with, by the way?
And
you're only, I'm sorry, but you're only giving Kamala Harris, what, a 50-50 chance to win. Why do you think the Democrats have made, as you say, a huge mistake with Kamala Harris?
I'm a bit of a policy buff on history. I go back and look at other situations as far back as recent times, Bernie Sanders, and then, of course, the anointment of Hillary Clinton. She was a presumptive winner and anointed, and rightly so by the party. They felt, how can we lose? She lost. In the case of this situation, there was no need to anoint her. There was enough time to run a process. And by the way, I'm not the only person on this narrative right now. There's some people in her own party starting to say, we're at risk here. Because the longer she doesn't describe her policies, the higher the risk is with the independent voters in the swing states that we lose some of them. Plus, some of these policies are actually crazy, and people are saying that, and even in her own party saying, don't worry, it'll never pass Congress. That's not the way to run a campaign. No. Everything I say is just kidding? Like, that's not a good idea. My point is, if she loses, neither party, Stuart, will ever do this again to themselves. Anoint a winner. Because give me the analogy, let me give you an analogy I think you understand. Stock picking. I can buy an index, or I can give it to a manager and let him pick stocks. 85% of the time, those managers can't beat the index, the S&P 500. Who are the index pickers or stock pickers in the Democratic Party? I guess it's Obama. I guess it's Nancy Pelosi. Maybe it's Clinton. Schumer. I don't know who they are. But you're letting them pick stocks for you when most managers can't beat the index. And maybe they picked a loser again. That's my whole point.
But that's a good analogy.
I think it is.
That works well. All right, let's turn to the markets first. Let's talk money. Dow's up 170-odd points, small gain for the S&P. Nasdaq down 47. NVIDIA, they report earnings on Wednesday. The stock is down just a fraction this morning. What are you looking for with NVIDIA, Kevin?
Well, the only question on the earnings call in NVIDIA, because they've pushed the new chip by 3 months, and there's so much focus on this name, minuscule focus on every week of revenue. Is the market going to take a pass on the fact they're going to push so much revenue into 2025 that was going to be in 2024 on the new platform? My guess is the stock trades down a little bit because there's no, like, NVIDIA is the granddaddy of tech, and it's also the most scrutinized stock. I don't think it'll be a collapse, but I don't think the news is going to be good enough when you push earnings on the new platform, which is 3 months late, minimum 3 months late. Sure. It'll trade down a little bit, but even at this point, it's not just NVIDIA, it's the Fed. Are we getting 50 bips? We're getting 25 bips. Now we're speculating 100 bips by the end of the year. That means one of the cuts will be 50 bips. Is it the September cut? Nobody knows. And frankly, I think people are too optimistic about these cuts because they've been waiting for them for over 11 months.
The last thing we want is a minor blip with the Blackwell chip from NVIDIA. You get that?
We're all like a poem. Minor blip with the Blackwell chip.
Yeah, well done. Kevin, stay with me for the hour, please, if you would. Thanks very much. Lauren's looking at the movers. You better look at Micron, down 3%.
That's a chip blip. Needham cuts their price target to 140 from 150, so still way above where it is now at 99. But they keep their buy rating. They're seeing weakness in the PC sector, the smartphone sector, and the auto sector that could affect demand for chips. So they cut their price target.
Solar Edge.
Solar inverter maker. The CEO is stepping down. Typically, you would see the stock price go up, but in this case, it's down 6%. Solar companies across the board struggling with a lot of inventory because of high interest rates. Now, it's also part of the Kamala Harris trade. She's doing better in the polls. You would think some of the solar companies, the green companies, would do well today. Some are not. Solar Edge.
What do you think about Harris doing well in the polls and the reaction on the market?
I don't think the market knows what's going to happen in this election. I don't think anybody.
Who does?
and I really think most of the institutional investors are only surprised about one thing, that she didn't distance herself from Biden and say, I'm the new boss, that was the old boss, and we won't get fooled again. My policies are centrist. But she didn't. She doubled down, and she doubled down on some stuff that really, like Soviet-style price fixing. Why would she do that? That makes no sense. Also, this tax rate issue, that's a big deal.
Huge. Well, she's being guided by Senator Warren and Senator Sanders.
Okay, so not good, because she should be her own person and say, no, I'm going to go to the center. Then she would have picked up a lot more independent votes. I'm surprised. I think she made a mistake on that one.
I want to get back to politics. Trump has suggested he may skip next month's presidential debate. In a post on Truth Social, he questioned why he should agree to a debate on ABC News. Trump's campaign says the Harris campaign is trying to change the rules. They want a seated debate with notes and opening statements. Let's get more on this from Kelly McGee-White joining us now. How would skipping the only scheduled debate help Trump, Kayleigh?
It wouldn't. I think Trump owes it to the American public to get out and face the new Democratic presidential candidate. However, I will just say Kamala Harris's bait and switch on this is quite ironic. She was the one who was criticizing Trump for being reluctant to agree to the ABC debate in the first place, claiming that he owed it to her to show up. And now she's all of a sudden trying to change the rules at the last minute. Listen, why is Kamala Harris so scared of facing the public? Why is she so scared of talking about her policies in public? It doesn't make any sense. This is a great forum for her to do that. And instead of trying to change the rules, she should agree to the ones that have already been established and move forward from there.
Well, both Kelly, stay right there, please. I want to bring back Kevin O'Leary back into this. What message would it send if Trump skips the debate?
I'm 50-50 on it, because it would force her to address the public through the press. And maybe Trump is thinking that if he doesn't like the rules and he says, you know what, I've decided, I'm going to keep the pressure on you, Vice President Harris, to actually address the public on your policies. I'll do it for you in a debate, but, you know, I've changed my mind. You go do it. If she never takes an interview with the press, if she never speaks out and explains her policies, I think that hurts her. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this strategy. But, you know, both parties always jostle for the rules. And frankly, I don't know why he's agreeing to ABC. It should be going back. The last one was CNN, I thought, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let's try somebody else.
Okay. Hold on. Stay with me, please.